Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 54 of the 72 review. We are back after having a few weeks off. Well, I say we are back. Two of us are back. Jake and Lee can't make it tonight. I believe they are still celebrating their current upturn in form after a few decent results in the championship. Either that or one of them's money grabbing for Christmas and one of them has just had a baby, so he's rather busy. I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
But I am joined by a regular face, Ian. You can see his tagline, football's rubbish anyway. It certainly is. This is our Sunday therapy session, Ian. I think it's desperately needed after this weekend's results. So introduce yourself, let us know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Why I do it is because I love football. I'm Ian, I'm 61. I'm a Rotherham season ticket holder, currently suffering. When the Millers are away, I'm around the country covering games, mainly in League 1 and 2 for Over the Bar YouTube channel.
And it is decent as well. A link to the Over the Bar YouTube channel is in the description down below. So please go ahead and subscribe to them so you don't miss any of Ian's content in the future. As always, get your comments in. It does drive conversation. We're going to try and get through this one relatively quickly because it's Christmas. I've got wrapping to do, and you'll be surprised to hear I've not eaten, so I'm hungry. It's the usual case.
I didn't know you were a rapper, Dan. I didn't know you were a rapper.
Not a very good one. A couple of comments have come in. We've got Neil, evening, the Deadly Duo. Talking about the Deadly Duo, Ian joined me last week to do a bit of a deep dive. There's a little bit of a catch up with us having 2 weeks off. So if you haven't seen any of those that have been uploaded this weekend, we did League 2 for Friday, League 1 on Saturday, and the Championship went up today, where we look back at our pre-season predictions. And when we were going through it, I thought we were pretty close with a lot of the stuff we were getting, but I've had another look and we've only correct on 5 of the 92, but I think we're quite close on a few, and we've had some stinkers, but we'll not ruin it.
Yeah.
Go back, check those out when you've got some time over the Christmas period. We've got ATID. I think the less I say about Rotherham, the better. No, please do bring it forward, ATID.
Bring it on.
We're all friends here. MTFC is in the chat as well. Hello. Neil getting in well early, ATID. And then he said, ATID said, but what I will say, you can expect sightings from your number 15 who broke our striker's ankle. Ooh. Not good.
I know there were some hefty challenges in.
Yeah.
But if he weren't going to get a card, obviously the referee saw it differently. But oh no.
Yeah. There we go. But yeah, if you are new to this, we go through the 3 divisions, the fixtures from the weekend. We're going to start in League 1, but as always, we will point you in the direction of Nappers. Cods Vlogs is League 1 review for this weekend, starts at 7 o'clock on his channel. But we will start in League 1. Let's get the there we go. Let's get the League 1 banner ticking across. Move that over there. And Ian, you went to Lincoln, so I think that's probably the best place to start. Reading probably deserve more from this. Lincoln had no shots. Talk us through this one.
Well, I think Reading will be very disappointed not to win this game at a canter, because they had 67% possession. They were absolutely all over Lincoln from possibly the time after the own goal. And the own goal was unfortunate. The ball got worked out to Ted Bishop on the wing. He put a decent ball up, and Nelson Abbey just cannoned off him straight past the keeper into the goal.
Couldn't do much about
that
it.
was straight away. The defender couldn't do much about it. But after that, it was all Reading. All the possession, all the chances. I was very impressed with Harvey Nibbs, who got a really good goal in the second half. And also Lewis Wing, ex-Millers player, but he was springing the diagonal balls, the 40-yarders out here, there and everywhere. Jensen in Lincoln's goal were inspired, pulled a couple of really good saves off. But if I was the Reading supporters, there were 900 of them there, by the way, which I thought, with it being such a long trip, and I thought with the Reading doing so poorly, it was a fantastic turnout.
Of
Reading supporters. It is, and they should have won. And they look, I mean, I'm only taking it on this one game, but they look far too good to be next to bottom. But results don't lie, do they? So
No.
there's hope there for them. There's definitely hope there for them to
say
climb the table.
They had 4 points deducted, I think, but they're still struggling in the bottom four.
I mean, Wigan had 8, didn't they?
Yeah,
and they're doing far better. But there's certainly hope for them, and they've certainly got some really decent players that that might make them climb the table. They're not dead yet, put it that way.
No, definitely not.
And as for Lincoln, I mean, they would be really, really pleased to get a point out of that, because they were really poor.
Yeah, especially with no shots on target at home. Very, very poor. There's only one game that I really want to talk about in League One, because, like we say, we do like to hand it over to Cod Vlogs. He goes into more detail in League One, and that was the Peterborough game against Fleetwood, Ben's team. But Peterborough move into the autos, with a 1-0 win over Fleetwood, and they inflict Fleetwood's 6th defeat on the bounce. It's not looking good for Fleetwood at the minute. They just can't seem to buy a win. No goals scored in those 6 as well, I believe. So, Peterborough probably disappointed to only score the 1. Been free scoring all season. I think they've scored 42 goals now. One of the more higher scoring, 41 goals, sorry. One of the more higher scoring teams across the EFL. But yeah, it doesn't matter how many you score. It's winning the game, isn't it?
It looks to me like Fleetwood are doing what Cheltenham were doing earlier in the season, that when they went about 10 games without scoring.
Yeah.
It looks like a similar sort of run.
Yeah, it's not a run that you want to go on, is it?
No, not at all.
Certainly not. So yeah, like we say, head over to Cod's Vlogs after watching this and take his League One expertise, and hopefully you enjoy it and stick around. We will quickly look at the table before moving on to League Two, where I've got quite a lot to say about our game. Cheltenham currently sit bottom of the table on 13 points, 1 win in their last 5. Reading, Ian, like you say, they've got something
only
about them. Yeah, they're not dead yet, like you say. Fleetwood currently 4 defeats on the bounce. I think there's been 2 defeats in the cup. But yeah, Carlisle make up the bottom 4 with Exeter just outside of the bottom 4 by 3 points.
And look at Burton, 5 straight defeats. Burton Albion.
Yeah, there's a lot of red down near the bottom of the table, isn't there? Yeah. Moving to the top of the table, Portsmouth. We're still waiting for them to do what Portsmouth do, aren't we? So many times that they've started so well in a season and then tailed off. But I can't see it this season.
Not this season. They look the real deal this season. I'll tell you one the surprise result were Bristol Rovers winning at Bolton, which had dropped Bolton down from 2nd to 5th. I mean, that's Matt Taylor, our ex-manager's first win as Bristol Rovers manager, and it came at Bolton, which is a fantastic result.
Yeah, great result for Bristol Rovers there. But yeah, Peterborough up into the autos, Oxford, Stevenage, Bolton, and Derby make up the top 6, with Barnsley just outside by 2 points. So
it's very tight, though, isn't it? Very tight.
Yeah. Lucy says Cambridge have got a good win as well.
Yeah, that was a very good win against Blackpool.
Yeah, decent. Jordan Rhodes still scoring goals. It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. That's League One covered. Now on to the difficulty of League Two, and an absolutely horrific day at the office for Donny Rovers. Where do I start on this one? A very slow start for the Rovers. The same mistakes are happening week in, week out, and for the first goal we've cleared those lines from a corner. We've not engaged on the second ball. We've allowed King to cut in from the left-hand side and get his shot off. And there's been
good finish.
It was a good finish. You can't take much away from the finish. I don't think Louis Jones could have done much about it. I think he was unsighted by a lot of bodies in front of him. My frustration is that we've not got out and engaged quick enough. We've allowed him to cut in. We've allowed him to take that shot on, and we've seen that so many times this season where there's been a player cut in from either wing and either get a decent cross in to a dangerous area or get a shot off and it find the back of the net, and we don't seem to be learning from the mistakes. And then we had a good spell of possession, but we had maybe 1-2 opportunities where the Morecambe keeper pulled off a few decent saves. I think maybe if one of those goes in, it could be a different story, but it didn't. And on 34 minutes, a wonderful through ball splits our defence in two, and Mellon in form runs onto it. There's question marks over whether Jones should have been out on his touch a little bit earlier.
Wasn't there a questioner offside?
There was. I thought he looked a mile off when I watched it live, but watching back, I think he's timed his run wonderfully. I think he's dead in line with Anderson. He's in between Oluwu and Anderson. Is a wonderful ball through. I think he's just timed his run really well. For me, no arguments. There were arguments at the time that the lino got it wrong, but I think I've been proved wrong on that one, and I think he was onside. But yeah, Louis Jones makes the save initially, and the defence just don't get back in time, and he gets a second bite of the cherry and takes it. And then from there, you think, right, let's go in at 2-0. McCann put a message to the players, and let's hopefully get a better second half. And we started okay, but then again, like in the first half, early on, opportunity falls to Morecambe and they put it away. And the halftime team talks just ripped up at that point. I think it showed how pissed off Grant McCann was, because he made 4 subs on 55 minutes. He was let down by his players yesterday for sure. Owen Bailey's come out and said that as a group they're embarrassed and they need to react, they need to respond, and they certainly do, because if we play like that against Bradford on Friday, it could be a similar scoreline, if not worse. On to Tonda's goal. I think we were talking about it before we went live.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Fantastic goal.
Yeah, not only the strike was wonderful in off the underside of the bar, the build-up play was just. It wasn't League Two level, in my opinion.
No, it was higher than League Two level.
We allowed it. We just didn't get close enough.
You never got close enough. Yeah.
We were just chasing shadows, and that was just us all day yesterday. And then salt in the wounds on 90+7, pretty much the last kick of the game. I think Louis Jones could have probably done better with saving the final one, but another cross to the back post, and it's just easy. I don't think Morecambe got out of second gear, and yeah, we were just dreadful. We say it time and time again on the 72 review. If you put effort in,
I've got a stat for you, Dan. I've got a stat for you. You're not going to like this. Morecambe, it's their highest ever away win as a Football League team.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. We were just dreadful from minute one, and to the final minute. And the only positive thing from this weekend is I went ego karting for Max's birthday today, and I came first. So I've had a positive day today. Let's quickly go through the comments on this one. MTFC, I thought it was only 3. Not a good result, especially with Morecambe away form. Yeah. I think Morecambe came into the game 5 winless, but honestly, they strolled to a 5-0 win. Neil's come in, you watch Friday, Donny will play like Brazil when you play us. Yeah, more than likely. I don't know. Bradley has said, saw a Rovers Paul fan asking, should we go to a back 4? But like you say, that doesn't affect our set piece defence. More effort needed in all areas on Friday, certainly. Donny are very inconsistent. We are. I think there's mitigating circumstances with our form this year. I think the injuries have impacted us, but that's no excuse for yesterday. The starting 11 had enough quality in them to not capitulate like that. So I don't know if you can tell with the tone of my voice, I am still very hurt, frustrated, embarrassed, pissed off by that, angry by that performance. I can take any result if the effort's there, but there was literally very little, if any, effort put in by the team yesterday. Lewis has said, I trust Grant, so do I. And then Neil said, Donny got some great players in Ironside, Fowle, Close, Molyneux. So I was surprised at the scoreline. Just a lack of midfield. Close was injured. Westbrook was injured. And I think that lack of midfield really impacted us yesterday. Very poor. Moving on. Let's go to another big scoreline. Ian, Stockport 8, Sutton United 0, top versus bottom.
Well,
Not good reading for Sutton fans.
I saw Challinger's post-match interview after they got dumped out the FA Cup to Aldershot, yeah. And he was very, very angry. And he said, I need a response. Wow, what a response.
Yeah.
I mean, this team are absolutely making mincemeat of the League Two. They've just got goals from everywhere. I mean, that Alafi only scored one. But mind you, I think he was sub. Paddy Madden hat-trick. Wootton always scores. They've got Collar, who scores regularly. He didn't score in this one. Crowsdale. Sutton look National League bound, don't they?
MTFC. Watch Sutton beat us next Saturday.
To be honest, I don't think they will.
No.
Yeah, I agree with Neil there. Bye-bye, Sutton. Oh, nice one, ATID. Well done.
Good stuff. Hopefully that does calm you down, because we will be on to Plymouth Rotherham soon.
Yeah, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Stockport, they're just like they've clicked into gear, haven't they? I mean, they clicked into gear last season, didn't they, after around about November time? But this season, again, a pretty slow start, but they've clicked into gear a lot earlier this season. And they're potential champions for me. There's a lot of, I said potential champions because I tipped Mansfield for the champions.
There's still a lot of football to be played, isn't there?
There's still a hell of a lot of football to be played, yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Mansfield got a fantastic 3-1 win at Crawley, who have been doing well at home.
I mean, on Stockport, they've hit a little bit of a blip over the last couple of weeks, I think. A defeat and 2 draws. I wouldn't mind a blip like that. But
listen, when you're drawing games and it's a blip, you're doing something right, aren't you?
yeah, certainly. But they've answered questions emphatically yesterday with an 8-0 thumping of Sutton. Good evening, John. Nice to see you.
Hello, John. You wanted to talk about Crewe, didn't you?
Yeah, you mentioned Mansfield, a very good result at Crawley. Bit of a weird team, Crawley, aren't they? We all expected them to struggle this season, but they've been toe to toe with most in the division.
They've been decent.
Yeah, I mean,
and they've pulled some good results on. Yeah, they've pulled some really good surprise results. But Mansfield did the business. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think Lewis has hit the nail on the head. They've got a real good squad that feels together, and you can see that they've been getting built for a number of seasons. I think this is the season where they don't make playoffs. I think they do get automatic. MTFC saying worst ref I've seen all season, yellow card if you touch the ball. Oh, on that, one positive from yesterday, even though we got beat 5-0. There were question marks over the female referee. It was her first game. I can't remember her name. She had an absolutely fantastic game. She managed the game superbly. There wasn't really an argument with any decision that she made, the way that she conducted herself. And I think there's a lot of scrutiny on females within the men's game. And
was it that Rebecca Welsh?
No, she was in Championship yesterday. A name's gone, but she had a really good game. Didn't put a foot wrong, and much better than some of the male referees that we've had down at the Eco Power Stadium this season. So I think where we do slag refs and linos off, I think you also need to credit the ones which are decent, and she was very good yesterday. Another game
you wanted to touch on Crewe, didn't you? Yeah,
we did, purely because they are the League Two entertainers, aren't they?
Yeah. You don't get many 0-0s with Crewe, do you?
No, I mean the highlights said that it was a game that you didn't want to turn up late for or leave early from, and I think that is very true, because it was 1-1 after 6 minutes. Then it settled down for a little bit. Crewe made it 2-1, and then 3 minutes before the end, 87 minutes, Accrington Stanley equalised, and you think, right, 2-2, they're sharing the spoils. But then on 90 plus 6, Josh Wood scores for Accrington and sends the away fans absolutely into delirium. They've won the game after being 2-1 down, but Crewe never say die. They've won points from losing positions numerous times this season, and they've done it again, haven't they? 90 plus 8 to rescue a point, and it's a place that nobody really wants to go because you can be 2 or 3 up and the game's not dead.
Fantastic as a neutral, though. As a neutral, go in there.
Yeah. So yeah, fantastic.
Which I will be doing. I will be doing before the end of this season. I want to go to Crewe again.
Guarantee the one that you go to will be a 0-0.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
A couple of comments I've popped in since I last went through them. We've got Scotch, I'm guessing is a Wednesday fan, very happy with Danny Rawle at the minute. Who else have we got? Neil said the ref at our game versus Gillingham was very poor. HID will not be praising Gavin Ward. I can promise you that.
Well, nobody praises Gavin Ward. Come on.
And John said, I think the issue with refs is that they are all decent on a good day, but sadly too inconsistent. So the performances go up and down. Yeah.
John, when I went to Lincoln Reading yesterday, Bobby Madley refereed it, and he's one of the most sort of controversial refs in the EFL, and he refereed very well yesterday. Absolutely very well. No problems with him at all. But he can have games where it's all about him.
Yeah. I think that's the inconsistencies that frustrate fans. That you see good performances and bad performances from refs,
from players and refs.
Yeah. Any games that you want to touch on?
Yeah, one in particular. What a result for Harrogate!
All yours, mate.
That was really, really unexpected. That because Notts, I mean, really strong side, full of talent, full of experience. And they've got a right Townsend. I mean, I went to Harrogate a few weeks ago, and they drew 1-1 with Swindon. And to be honest, they looked okay. They looked average, but I didn't expect a result like this coming against Notts. Great result.
Yeah. I do agree with Lewis on that one. I'd still rather have a bad ref than VAR down at EFL level. 100%.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
But yeah, cracking result for Harrogate. Notts County in a little bit of a slump at the minute. Are they? Yeah, two defeats on the bounce. Only 2 wins in the last 5.
3 in the last 5. 3 defeats in the last 5.
Yeah. Any others? We will touch on Bradford as well. Obviously, Bradford are our next game. We've got a few Bradford fans in the chat. Gillingham, the start of the season well.
Yeah, they did, but they've dropped off.
Starting to tail off a little, aren't they?
Alarmingly, yeah.
Yeah.
But great result for Bradford, that. Great away win, yeah. And that Walker's doing bits, isn't it? That Jamie Walker's doing... He's scoring nearly as many as Andy Cook.
No, we'll say Andy Cook on the score sheet once again, but that's the concerning thing for me there. If I was a Bradford fan, is that there's 12 shots at goal, only 2 on target, but those 2 on target converted, won the game 2-0. So you take it, don't you?
Yeah. That's a good conversion rate, that.
Yeah, it is. But under Graham Alexander seemed to have turned a little bit of a corner, Bradford. So I am worried for Friday. Neil, unbeaten in 5 games now. So yeah, certainly turned.
I'll tell you this much: Rovers will have the best crowd of the season on Friday. Without a doubt.
Yeah, it won't be in the home end. A quick look at the table before we move on to the Championship. Sutton and Forest Green make up the bottom 2. Sutton 4 draws and a defeat. Yeah, they look doomed. 6 points away from getting out of it. But Colchester's form is horrid as well. Neil's just put a stat up there: 15 goals scored and 1 conceded. Oh dear. Yeah, it's all pointing towards an absolute massacre again at the Eco Power Stadium on Friday. But yeah, Colchester needs to be looking over the shoulder. Luckily, Forest Green and Sutton for Colchester aren't performing particularly well as well. We, strangely, are closer to the playoffs than we are to the bottom 2. We are 8 points off the playoffs, 9 points off the bottom two. But
yeah, but just look at the top end of the table, how tight it is.
yeah, it's extremely tight. But the way we performed, we are probably closer to the National League than the League Two playoffs at the minute. Stockport, 6 points clear at the top. Barrow,
Yeah,
absolute superb season so far. 40 points. Look at that, 5 wins on the bounce. I'm not sure if
argue with that. He's doing a great job, Pete Wild, isn't he, up there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's more than 5 wins on the bounce. Obviously, we can only see the last 5. Wrexham in third, and then the playoffs: Mansfield, Crewe, Notts County, and Wimbledon, who are having a good season.
We're having a good season, yeah.
ATID, I hope you've hit the nail on the head for Friday's scoreline. 1-0 Donny. We will see. Neil's agreeing. Yeah, 100%. Okay, moving on to the Championship. Flying through tonight. Ian, we will start with Plymouth against Rotherham. ATID, get your comment in now. I think Ian is expecting abuse, so be nice, but be honest.
Yeah, be respectful.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, in midweek when we lost 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion at the New York Stadium, we hardly put a challenge in. We stood back and admired them and laid down and have us belly tickled. In fact, West Brom never got out of first gear. They beat us easily. And I think as fans, we went away from that game thinking, well, at least try. They didn't look like they were trying. And I think the manager came out and said the first thing they wanted Rotherham to do would be more competitive, more, how can I put it? I would say get your tackles in, compete more. And apparently, and apparently they sort of like overstepped the mark at Plymouth. I wasn't there, so I can't really. ATID obviously was, but I can't really comment. Yeah. I mean, the positives that I would take as a Millers fan from this is that we scored 2 goals for the first time this season away from home. And Tom Eaves, in his second season with Rotherham, 40-odd appearances, scored his first goal. I mean, I wanted a T-shirt if it was to score at New York Stadium that said, I saw Tom Eaves score a goal. But he had to do it down in Plymouth, didn't he? Obviously, when it went to added time, the inevitable happened, and we conceded. But we were competitive, and we put a shift in. And as a fan, you can't argue with more than that. Daniel Ayala wants Christmas in Spain, so he decided to get himself bloody idiotically sent off, trying to play basketball. What an idiot. That's the second. He'd just come back from a 1-match ban.
Yeah.
Straight back in the team because he got sent off against Swansea. He does the fucking same. Oh, sorry. He does the same thing again. He does the same thing again. He gets himself sent off ridiculously.
He's one of the more experienced players as well, and that's exactly the disappointing thing, isn't it?
So to me, you've got to question his commitment to the cause. Does he want to be there? He's got a contract till the end of this season. To me, I mean, that is inexcusable. I mean, I would probably, I'd only play him in an emergency now because he's just shown he's not committed to the cause. Yeah. In fact, if it were legal to rip his contract up for misconduct, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
Anyway, ATID, you have your say, because apparently 1 or 2 iffy challenges that went unpunished.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of comments in. He won't abuse Ian. Not the fans' fault. Yeah. Gavin Ward is a shocking referee, a spirit performer from the Millers who caught us on an off day. To break our striker's leg and fracture our other striker's eye socket is disgraceful. Nothing against the fans, but I'm glad you're going down. Worst team won yesterday by far. But Gavin Ward done all he could to help you win yesterday.
You're going to have that opinion.
It's frustrating, isn't it, as a fan to see players flying in and very little protection given by the officials. I think that's that's their primary job.
To protect players, yeah.
Yeah, to protect players, keep as many players on the pitch at as you can throughout the game, but at the same time, it's about protecting other players. And if there has been challenges going in that are robust and overstepping the line, that's where your ref's got to step in and manage the game, manage the players, and make sure that they don't happen. Something similar happened last season at Bradford. Liam Ravenhill went in very heavily, very committed into a challenge and broke. Bradford fella's name escapes me. He broke his leg. Midfielder. I'm sure Neil will pop in the chat.
I don't think any player sets out to deliberately injure another.
Yeah,
I really don't. I mean, yeah, fair enough. That might be the outcome, but I don't think any player deliberately goes, "I'm going." Probably Roy Keane in his heyday, but I don't think any player deliberately sets out to injure another fellow professional. I mean, it might have been mistimed. Might have just been mistimed. I mean, I can't really comment because I haven't seen it. So
yeah,
there you go.
I think there is a fine line, isn't there? Like you said on MTFC, you're a legend. Ossa Davey was the Bradford player. But yeah, I don't think there was any intent in that one. Looking at the highlights yesterday of the Plymouth Rotherham game, I think it was just a really committed challenge that was
mistimed.
Yeah, it was mistimed. It was probably out of control. So based on that, you've got to send him off.
It was Akeem Adofin that made the challenge, and he's not that sort of player. He's not that sort of player. He's not particularly dirty. He's competitive, but he's probably disciplinary wise, he might have got 2 or 3 yellow cards this season, but that's all.
Yeah.
He's not a Daniel Ayala, put it that
way. Yeah. ATID says both Hardy and Bundu left on stretchers. Hardy got booked for diving. I'm sorry, Ian, studs up, no intent to get the ball.
Well, he should have been sent off, obviously.
Yeah, simple as that. And hopefully, I'd like to think, like you said, Ian, that no player goes out onto the pitch with intent to hurt other fellow professionals. They've just overstepped the line, haven't they?
Yeah.
But Plymouth get the 3 points. Feels probably hurts a little bit more for Ian with it being such a late winner. But to fight valiantly down to 10 men at home park, take some positives from that.
You've got to take 1 or 2 positives from it. I mean, as far as the seasons go, we're concerned. We know where we're going. We know we're going into League One. But if we can put some committed performances, probably not as committed as yesterday, but put some competitive performances and 1 or 2 results, I'd be fairly content with that.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to the Sheffield Wednesday QPR game. Normally we've got Leo or Jake to take this one, but there's been a resurgence at Hillsborough, hasn't there? I think, let me just have a quick look at their form. 3 wins
and a draw out of 5. Brilliant.
That's some cracking results for a team that looked dead and buried a few weeks back. So they're clearly buying into what Danny Rowell is asking of them. There's fight, there's determination for the full 90. Bailey Cadamartri looks a bit of a player, doesn't he? 18 years old, and I think he scored 3 and 4. Very, very good player. But this was a very early relegation 6-pointer, and for Wednesday to come out on top, it does give them a sniff of survival, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, Rowell has certainly turned them down. He turned them round, and he's turned the fan base round as well, because the fan base sounded on the floor, and since they beat us 2-0, I think it was late November. They've just gone from strength to strength. I mean, they lost in midweek to Norwich, but that's no detriment to them because Carrow Road's a hard place to go.
Yeah.
But Wednesday look as though they've got the fight, they've got the stomach for the fight, and I'd be fairly encouraged by the start that the manager's made. I mean, their away form's still really poor. It needs improving. But at Hillsborough, they seem a match for anybody.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
indeed. But yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good win for them. Like ATID said, just give them a bit of breathing space at the bottom as well. I think Plymouth put themselves in a really good position for surviving this season. I think there's certainly a few worse teams than them in the league. I think Huddersfield need to be looking over the shoulder. Yeah, Millwall
will be fine. I mean, ATID probably would have taken 26 points from 22 games after promotion. I mean, that's pretty decent. I mean, if I were a Stoke or a Millwall supporter, or even Huddersfield, I'd be very, very worried because they're in no sort of form at all, especially Stoke. Stoke are really poor at the moment.
Yeah, good draw for them today, though. Against
it was a good draw at West Brom, Yeah. Although I will say this about the Baggies, they seem to be better away from home than they do at the Hawthorns.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Any championship game that you want to touch on, Ian, before we start rounding this one off?
Yeah, a bit of a surprise on the Old Farm derby. I expected Ipswich to romp away with this one.
Yeah.
But Norwich, I mean, you've got to give them a massive credit for coming away with a point. Ipswich, I saw the highlights on the EFL show. It looks like Ipswich, it was just shooting practice first half.
Yeah.
They were just so much on top. I mean, Broadhead scored one. He probably should have had about 4. But they just look a really, really tidy unit going forward, Ipswich. Yeah. But give Norwich credit, they scored 2 goals at Portman Road and probably deserved the point. And at one time, it looked like it might have been 3. But isn't he a brilliant player, Wes Burns? He is a superb footballer.
So quick. I mean, I was watching the highlights yesterday, and as soon as he gets hold of the ball, he just drives, doesn't he?
Yeah. And I think that's what McKenna's put into him. You know, that drive.
Just a bit of positivity.
So it was a bit of a surprise, but you see, if you don't, successful teams, if they don't win, they don't lose. So if they've got a point, it's another point on the board, another point towards the Premier League. So I don't think they'll be too disappointed with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The only game that I wanted to touch on, obviously a fantastic result for Watford, beating Preston 5-1 away from home. But I wanted to touch on Hull beating Cardiff 3-0 at home. Liam Rosenior getting a 3-year contract, signing a 3-year deal, which I think is well deserved. But this win takes them into the playoff places after dropping out of it a few weeks back. But a little bit of concern for Cardiff, down to 12th with 4 defeats in 5 games after a really good start for them. But Hull City playing football, very, very neat football, very tidy football, and they look like they could maybe spoil the party and join the playoffs and potentially be back in the Premier League.
They look a tidy outfit. I mean, going forward, they've got so much talent. Scott Twine, what a signing! I mean, I mean, set pieces. There's nobody in the Championship that's his equal for set pieces. He's superb and a good attacking midfielder. Got 2 fan up front. The guy that scored a lot of goals that was injured at the moment, I can't remember his name. But they've got players to come in and take over from him, and 3-0 at home makes pretty resounding that. Yeah, they're a good side, very good side.
Very, very good. Any more games before we look at the table here?
Not really. I think we've covered most of them. Probably Coventry need a shout out for getting a draw at Ellen Road, which was a very good result for them. Yeah,
it was. Somerville, we've mentioned him a few times on this show. Very good
he's a hell of a player.
Stats-wise, it looks like it was heavily weighted towards Leeds. So a bit of a smash and grab getting a point at Ellen Road. Looking at the stats,
very
20 shots, 6 on target, 65% possession, and managed to come away with something. Yeah, that's they'll take it, won't they?
Oh yeah, definitely take it. Yeah.
Okay, so quick look at the table down at the bottom. Sorry, and we'll not stay here for too long. Rotherham in 24th on
It doesn't
13
hurt
points.
anymore. It doesn't hurt anymore.
It's numb. Can you see you getting off the foot of the table, or do you
absolutely
think
not.
that's it?
No, I think 24th's where we're going to stay, I'm afraid. We haven't got the resources. We haven't got the squad. What I would like our manager, Liam Richardson, to do is start building for League One now and start developing a style of play, start developing his own players and weed some of the mercenaries that we've got in the squad, the 35-plussers that have just come for a last payday. I think they need to go. They need to get out the door. I mean, most of them have only got contracts till the end of the season. I mean, it's a bit radical, but I've actually come out on social media and said, forget this season, and if sell Victor Johansson in January for as much as we could get, because I think our goalkeeper's worth 5 million plus.
Yeah, he's a good
and if
keeper.
we get that sort of fee for him, bank the money, do not spend a halfpenny of it in January trying to get out of this mess. Keep it until the summer and try to build a squad that is competitive in League One, because I truly believe that this squad that we've got at the moment would struggle in the division below. I really do.
Yeah. HRD saying that you had a lot of fight yesterday, though. So
yeah, well,
maybe Liam's starting to get something over to the players.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Christmas
too much, but it was there.
our Christmas fixtures are horrendous.
Yeah.
We've got Leicester away next, then we've got Borough at home, Sunderland at home, and Blackburn away. I can't see many points coming our way there.
No, it's an easy festive period, that.
Yeah. I will win at Leicester.
Yeah. Making up the bottom three, Sheff Wednesday and QPR, but Huddersfield, Millwall, and Stoke will be looking over the shoulders. I think Wednesday's form, QPR have turned a corner as well. I know Wednesday beat them on Saturday, but that last 5 fixtures for those two is not normally seen in the bottom 3, is it?
It isn't, and to be honest, I mean, Millwall and 2 draws out of 10 games will be very nervous.
Yeah. Certainly. Plymouth, I think they're safe. ATID's still a little worried, but I think continue like you're doing this season. I think you'll be fine. There's plenty of teams a lot worse than you in the Championship.
I'd agree with that.
Up towards the top of the table, Leicester play tomorrow against. Let me get this right. Birmingham away from home. So they could extend their lead at the top of the table if they win at Birmingham. Ipswich in second, and then the playoffs Leeds, Southampton, West Brom, and Hull City.
Can you just imagine the playoff games if third to sixth stop that way? There'd be 2 cracking ties, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
Leeds, West Brom, Southampton, Hull.
Not bad.
Yeah.
ATID said no away wins yet though, but I think your home form could be good enough to keep you up. I really do.
Yeah. You can get the occasional point away from home. That helps.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that brings us almost to the end. We will get the predictions in before we finish off. So let's get this up on the screen. A little update for the table. Not many points won last time, but we have to cast our mind back a long, long way because of the amount of weeks that we've missed. Lizzie and Adam doing really well with 6 points, but the table, Ian, you're out in front, 3 points clear on 46 points, and then it's Neil, Liam, Bailey, Adam, MTFC, myself, Lee, Lizzie, Jake, ATID, Burton, Lewis, Christian, Jonathan, John, Worko, Mark, Abaddon, and Lolo de Wednesday. So that's the 20 in the table. Predictions for this week, get them in the comments. The games are on screen now. Sheff Wednesday versus Cardiff. Ian, what are you going for? I've gone 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday.
I'm going Wednesday 1, Cardiff 1.
Lovely. Leicester versus Rotherham. You'll not want to hear my prediction. I've gone 4-0.
I'm going 5-1.
Oh, 4-0 was better then. Bolton, Leighton Orient, mate. I've gone 1-0 to Bolton.
I'm going 2-0 to Bolton.
Lovely stuff. Doncaster versus Bradford. I have gone with a disappointing result for the Rovers. I've gone a 4-1 defeat. What are we going with?
I'm going Doncaster 1, Bradford 3.
Okay. Morecambe MK Dons.
I'm going Morecambe 2, MK Dons 1.
I have gone with a Desmond 2-2 on that one. So as always, get your comments in on the video, and we will update the table and show you how everybody's done next week. I say next week. It won't be next week because next week is Christmas Eve. The next 72 review is going to be on the 30th of December, where we'll cover all of the festive fixtures, because I am busy on Christmas Eve getting drunk and with family, and over the Christmas period I don't know what day of the week it is. So 30th of December is the next episode of the 72 review, and hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about and a bit more positivity for our clubs over the festive period.
I'm not holding me breath.
No, me neither, Ian. Me neither. Any final words before we finish off, mate?
Nice therapy session. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode as well. I'm glad to be back. It feels great to be back. Throat is still struggling a little bit, but we've got through it fine. But yeah, if you're watching this throughout the week, please stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments, get them in the section down below. I do try to read and reply to as many as I can. ATID knows it. Xmas Eve piss up. We're on it.
Yeah.
Subscribe to myself if you haven't already. Subscribe to Over the Bar, and obviously Around the Grounds and Punk Chef 41 regular people on the panel as well. Get subscribed to those if you haven't already. And all that's left for me to do is say thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.